Good evening everyone and welcome along to TTML. We are here for Division 2 Season 4 Round 8 of the Championship as we take in the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, the Mexican Grand Prix from the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. Got myself in a bit of a tongue twist there. My name is James Head, going to be taking you through the stream as always on a Thursday night, and joining me in the commentary box it is Mr. Michael Edwards. Mike, how you doing?
I am doing great, and after a pretty topsy-turvy race last time out in Russia with the penalty situations, we come to Mexico where track limits are going to be pushed again tonight.
Yeah, track limits are indeed going to be pushed in again tonight. Looking at the stewards report, Jorg, TTB got 5 penalty points for providing no footage. There was slight contact but nothing major in that incident. Noisy and Cam, no further action and 5 penalty points to Cam. No footage, a very similar incident to Incident 1, slight contact with nothing major. Incident 3, TDB also got 5 penalty points for no further action, and that was a very similar incident, of course, to Incidents 1 and 2 that I've just read out. Noisy has been given a reprimand for excessive swearing against Cam and TDB. Language like that, even if it's in the heat of the moment, can and will not be accepted. There is a rule stating that in the rules and regulations here in TTML. F1AMG, he failed to comply with the task regulations, an incorrect nationality. He used British, but he submitted German, so he changed his flag basically on the game. And TRT Zong failed to complete with task regulations as well. He submitted a different number, and his telemetry was not set to public. And a qualifying ban for F1AMG because he received 2 reprimands for task infringement, and that is a qualifying ban for tonight, just to put that on the record. Looking then at the Russian Grand Prix last time out, CR7 won, TDB second, and LMN in third. What did that do to the championship standings? Well, TDB leads the way on 135 points, CR7 in second on 118. If he's here tonight, I think he's going to take the championship lead. Isotopics in third on 114, Noisy fourth on 111, LMN fifth on 97, Wesker sixth on 91, Madionas seventh on 88, Jorgen eighth on 75, Chionis in ninth on 74, and Cam in 10th on 61. Pause. Looking down the rest of the field, we have Vettel on 60 points, Funky Chicken in 12th on 58, a Beauty Boy 13th on 57, Matt Tibos in 14th on 50, Sway 15th on 49, tied with Callboy, the 2 Alpha Rotaries, Magnus 17th on 34, Special 18th on 15, Jack and Lucky Lars tied for 19th on 12 points. Constructors will come on to shortly, but TDB has got a 17-point advantage coming into tonight, Mike. CR7 absolutely dominated in Russia. If he's here, can he close that gap and maybe take the championship lead?
Well, I can't confirm he is here. He's in the lobby, so we are going to see a battle emerge. And yeah, I think last week the reverse strategy worked out pretty well for TDB, able to salvage a podium. But yeah, CR7 in a different class last week. Is he going to be able to do it again tonight? Only time will tell.
Yeah, you'd imagine so. I'm just flicking through the rest of the field. We have, of course, Wesker in, Cam in, Vettel in, and TDB's also here, which is what I was checking more importantly as well. And the Constructors' battle even closer than the Drivers' standings. McLaren lead the way on 192 points, Ferrari second 188, and Alfa Romeo in third on 186. 6 points separating the Constructors going into tonight. Both championships cannot be won tonight. I'll put that on the record as well. Haas in fourth on 160, with Williams in 5th on 141, Mercedes and Red Bull tied for 6th on 131, AlphaTauri 8th on 98, Racing Point 9th on 61, and Renault in 10th on 27. McLaren, though, Mike, holding a very, very slim advantage over Ferrari and Alfa Romeo.
Yep, it is incredibly tight in the Constructors, and you know there is a approaching third Ferrari engine constructor getting in the fight as well, Haas. Obviously with CR7 getting a big result last time out. Vettel, we know he can get some good positions. You know, he may have just been on the wrong side of things a few times this season, but Vettel does have the pace to get himself up there. So we may see Haas join the battle.
We could see Haas join the battle, but I think probably it's between the top 3 constructors. Certainly coming into tonight, but longer term, it might bring in Haas, certainly within the championship standings. We are running a couple of minutes late. It's only because drivers are using the toilet, is why we're running a couple of minutes late. That's not what you like to hear from a head commentator on any league, let alone here in TTML on League Racing TV. But Cam better get into his car. Vettel has just selected his car. We are good to go. Finally, of course, around the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. And this track is very long in terms of the straight. Of course, the track map in question, 4.3 kilometres in length, 2.6 mile, with the 17 turns, in fact. 3 DRS zones, one down the start-finish straight, one down towards turn 4, one down in towards turn 12, and plenty of opportunities for overtaking, Mike.
Yep. Plenty of opportunities for overtaking indeed. Obviously the one down at turn 1 is going to be a major one, and of course into turn 4, but good opportunities for some side-by-side action as well through sector 2 and maybe even sector 3 as well, where it gets tight and twisty in the stadium section.
Yeah, very good to see as well. A lot of comments coming through. We've got Tom saying, Mashiro saying Honey Badger had some work to do. May's also giving a shout out to Wesker for donating to League Racing TV. Of course, if you do want to donate here on League Racing TV, you can. It is on the PayPal. It's in the description in this video and in any other video that you see, of course, on the channel. You can donate £1, £5, £10, even £1,000 if you want to. And if anybody donates £1,000, then well done, because I don't think anybody has that money currently to spend, because F1 2021's coming up, of course. But, of course, we are now going into short qualifying. The first thing to note is, what is the weather going to be like? We had a dry race in Division 1. We had a dry qualifying, for that matter, in Division 1 as well. But what are we going to see out on track, and how on earth are we going to decipher in terms of the tyre wear around here as well, and the strategy? I'm just playing this out so we can see the weather. Beautiful blue sky, sunshine, very, very similar weather conditions to Division 1.
Yep, the sky is clear, it is blue, a couple of clouds overhead as well, kind of like what the weather's been like here in the UK. And I've just received a message from one of our drivers, TDB himself. He's already given us excuses. I mean, it's terrible to see. TDB has said he's driving with a possible bruised wrist, which is hurting him. So, TDB already getting his excuses in early. Hate to see it.
I was literally just going to say that. Getting his excuses in early, I think, TDP there. But if he has got a bruised wrist, we wish him recovery. Put an ice pack on it and you'll be fine within a week. I'll tell you that now. Isotopic is on track. He's the first man to join out on track, and we get a flurry of cars, in fact, coming out. Jack Cam Special just joining out onto track as well. But Isotopic is the first man out on track, and Isotopic has been up there in terms of the championship standings coming into tonight, of course. And I'm just going to get the championship standings up to remind me of where he is, and Isotopic is third going into the championship. He's 114 points, 21 points behind TDB. He's got clear air in front of him out on track. Surely the man to watch out for early on in this qualifying session.
Oh yeah, I mean, with TDB saying that he's got a bruised wrist that could affect him here tonight, is a big opportunity for the likes of Isotopic for CR7, and I believe Noisy as well is also pretty close to those two as well, as I think the standings up. Yeah, Noisy only 3 points behind Isotopic and 7 points behind CR7, so those three going to be looking for a big race here tonight.
Yeah, of course, Division 3 is also live. Aiden Carter and Paco Suarez taking you through the action, of course, tonight. Conti not available, but Isotopic now comes across the line to start us about on this first lap. 4.3 kilometres in length, around 17 turns. Matt Tibos there off to the right-hand side, and now Isotopic runs down and towards turn 1. It's nearly a kilometre long, this straight. Given that the track is so short, Isotopic runs through turn 1, in towards turn 2, and through turn 3. Very, very neat and tidy coming through there, and we see what his first sector is going to be like as he comes towards the end of the first sector, coming in towards the braking zone of turn 4, and it's a 27.7 through the first sector from Isotopic, so not looking too bad at all. Looks like everyone has got their task systems on setting as well, which is great to see. Isotopic now comes through the double right of turn 6 and now through in towards the Slytherin Snake S section. As I sometimes know this, it's the S section coming through the track, through 8, through 9, and then through in towards turns 10 and 11. They come at you like sucker punches from Floyd Mayweather to Logan Paul. Maybe watch that later on at the weekend. 54.5 through the middle sector from Isotopic. 26.7. Magnus, fastest first sector out of everyone. A 27.7 in his first sector, so good lap there from him. Isotopic's invalidated coming out into the baseball stadium section and now runs straight into the pit lane. And also CR7 is invalidated on his lap. Jack is going to be the first one to come across the line though. Gets a bit of snap of oversteer at the final corner. Comes across the line. 13.8 to start off the night, but that is not going to be the pole time.
Yeah, and I was just on board with CR7 as he was coming through the S's. Then we had Special the wrong way around in the S's as he gets going again, but he had Williams directly behind him. I believe might be Wesker. Yes, it is. Still on a valid lap, 55.1 in the middle sector. And Magnus setting original pole for the time being as we come through the final corner now with Wesker. What is this going to be? Very tentative on the throttle, I gotta say. I think that's cost him.
It has cost him 13.9. Sway's just invalidated out through turn 15. He would have went quickest, I think. Magnus, though, out on top. Division 4 champion, of course, as Callboy has crashed it coming through in towards turn 13. I'm just trying to pinpoint who might be out there on track coming towards him. Colin Robb is the nearest to him. We'll see what's happened. He's off to the right-hand side, and he's got caught on the outside curb, hasn't he? And has spun the car, and he is in the wall and will take no further part in the session. I think, if I'm not mistaken as well, 2 qualifying to the row he's done that.
Yeah, it's not been a good performance from Cowboy in the past couple of qualifying sessions. He does seem to enjoy crashing out in the qualifying sessions.
It's always more consistent in the race. TDB, by the way, I'm not sure if he has got a bruised wrist, to be honest. Come across the line, he goes quickest, a 1:13.542, a tenth of a second ahead of Magnus, and TDB to the top of the standings. Colin Robb is invalidated. LMN is coming through the end of the middle sector, but I don't think he's actually on a competitive lap here to 55.7 in the middle sector. York goes second, splits between TDB and Magnus, but it is TDB out on top, York second, Magnus in third, LMN taking a very weird line coming through the baseball stadium section there, and then in towards, of course, Peraltada corner at the final corner. Mad Jonas, I believe, is on a lap as well. He's just started up one, but only 6 times on the board. Just comes to show the nature of the beast as Noisy comes around the final corner, comes to the line and goes quickest at 1:13.4. That's more like it.
Yeah, and I was going to bring up Noisy from last season. He had a pretty good race, of course. If you were around to watch last season, he got tangled up with XL Gary last season, which cost them both dearly. But they both had a pretty good pace around this track. So Noisy could be one to keep an eye on, as well as Tionis, who did manage to get 2nd place last time out in Mexico.
Yeah, Mad Jonas might be one to watch out for coming through the end of the middle sector. He's around TDB sort of middle sector, so he could be around that sort of area. The German now coming in towards 7:14, then through the right-hander of 15, in towards Peraltada at 16 and 17. Mad Jonas now coming through the final couple of corners as it gets very muggy where I'm sitting in the commentary booth. Mad Jonas comes across the line, goes 5th at 1:13.7. Noisy out on top, TDB second, Jorg in third. There is fresh air coming through my window, by the way, but I can hardly feel it. Isotopics is just invalidated coming through the S section. CR7, though, will have to focus on this lap, because I'm expecting him to go quicker than Noisy. A 1:13.2 is what I'm going to bank on. As CR7 now comes out through turn 3, he's got LMN in front of him. He's actually got a bit of traffic in front of him out on track as LMN pulls off to the left-hand side. CR7 through the first sector. 27.7, and I think that's the quickest of the first sectors we've seen so far out on track tonight. Isotopic, by the way, was a 27.6 through the first sector, but CR7 through 6. He's got Mad Jonas just in front of him, but this is worst case scenario. Mad Jonas just about gets out to the way of the racing line, but I tell you what, CR7 is so committed coming through the S section, through turn 10, through turn 11. This is quick from CR7 as he now comes in towards the end of the middle sector. Wow, 54.5 through the middle, and it's put up to 26.8 on the TAS system as CR7 is thundering around the track here. It could even be a 1:12. CR7 comes out through the final couple of corners. This is the quickest lap of the night so far. CR7 CR7 comes to the line. 13.2. Who predicted that? I did. CR7 on top. Might be the lap time to beat.
Yeah, it definitely is the lap time to beat at this moment in the stage, and I swear you've been getting these predictions right. You should put on the lottery every now and then.
I wish I could, honestly. But yeah, CL7 out on top. And he's a 10th.5 clear of Noisy. Noisy's no slouch. He's 3/10 clear of TDB. I act as if I'm surprised, and I am. Every week I am with him. Special's coming through the final corner. He's on a lap, comes across the line. Slows to the night at 1:14.1. Matt Tibos is invalidated through the end of the middle sector. Sway is invalid. Elemendo coming through turn 6. And this man, of course, put CR7 nearly in his place in qualifying last week. As Elemendo flies through the S section, through 7, through 8, through 9. And then in towards turn 10, 11, this right-handed little chicane, as they call it, of course, here in Mexico. And this is quick, actually, from LMN. 54.7, not as quick as CR7 in the middle sector, but he's around Noisy sort of area. So I'm expecting him to be around Noisy, maybe in between Noisy TDB, I'm thinking.
Yes, he comes for the final corner now, short shifting up to 4th to get the traction down to the line, and just behind Noisy, actually.
I think he had a little kick of overseer coming out through the final corner. He just saw him try to wrestle the car as Magnus goes second.
Magnus is splitting Noisy and CR7. That's a brilliant lap there for Magnus.
Magnus is quick around here. He proved that in Division 4 last season. However, I will throw it out now. He did spin under the safety car under the restart last season. So I'm hoping Magnus has learned from that and we don't get a safety car out on track and he can actually show what his worth is in Division 2. But he is quick around here. It's Magnus. Sway's on a lap as well. He's looking quick through into the towards the end of the middle sector. Sway through the end of the middle sector. Yeah, he's around sort of LMN, TDB sort of area, I think, with this lap so far. The AlphaTauri now comes in towards the final couple of corners. Takes a wider out line, takes a thinner line through 15, and then towards Peraltada at 16 and 17. CR7, Magnus, Noisy, your top 3. Sway, I think, is going to go 3rd, maybe. Comes across the line, he goes 5th, 113.4, though. If I stood for my original prediction, I wish I did, but I didn't, and he's went 5th.
Well, Tionis is on a good lap right now, improving in the middle sector as he comes through the final couple of corners. Bit of a snap on the oversteer in the stadium section. Let's see what it's going to be to the line. Ooh. And it's a 13.3.
Yeah, good improvement there from Tionis. Goes 3rd. Isotopic has not set a lap time yet, and he's coming through the final corner. So, what's Isotopic going to do? Comes across the line. That's more like it from Isotopic. 113.286. He's got the pace and he's into second in the champion. Second, I should say. 3rd in the championship coming into tonight. 2nd in qualifying so far. 7 minutes just over to go. CR7 on top. Isotopic 2nd. Magnus, Tionis and Noisy running off your top 5. But Noisy has just started up on a lap. A 113.4 in his lap so far. He's 300ths down coming towards the end of the first sector. And he's got traffic. CR7 is in front of him, in fact.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, I'm on board with TDB in the middle sector. He's got a bit of traffic ahead of him of Cam. He is just under a 10th up, so it would put him around the LMN pace at the moment. And he's just gone deep into the stadium there. Very,
very wide into the stadium section. TDB backs off. He comes into the pit lane. Mad Jonas, by the way, is fastest out of everyone in the first sector. So watch out for this lap from him. Going to ride on board with Noisy coming through in towards the final couple of corners. We'll see what Mad Jonas is doing in the middle. 26.9. So he's actually a little bit slower in the middle sector. Noisy's back into the pit lane as well, which means now we can ride on board with Jorg. Jorg comes out through the final couple of corners. He looks like he's going to improve massively on this lap. Comes across the line. 113.4. He remains in 7th. Mad Jonas now toward the line. He's at 2/10 up. Oh, he goes quickest! A 113.2. Where did he find that final sector from? He's 3/10 quicker than anyone else in that final sector. That's insane. Mad Jonas takes it 500ths of a second. He was quick in the first sector, lost all of his time in the middle, and he's just found nearly 4/10 of a second in the final sector. That's an insane lap from the German.
Absolutely mad for Mad Jonas there in that final sector. Jeez.
But CR7's responding, and he's a 10th up in the first sector, and he's coming in towards turn 7.
I was just about to say Cam over half a second up as he comes into the final sector, and he's just invalidated, so jump back on board with CR7.
He's still up! How is he still up? He backed off the throttle coming through the S section, and he's still up out on track. This is unbelievable, and the Portuguese man just runs wide, and that might have cost him. That might cost him a potential cracker pole position for now. CR7 though through the final corner. Peraltada comes toward the line. And he's not quickest. It's 3 thousandths of a second between Mad Jonas and CR7. Anybody else improving on the laps? Oh my god, Element's 2 tenths up nearly in the first sector.
Yeah, I was about to say, Element almost 2 tenths up as he now comes into the S's. Maximum commitment on these curves, hitting all the apexes, try to get a good run on the exit, and that is lovely. As we get the second split, he's 2.5 tenths up. This is going to be right there with him.
If CR7 lost time in the final sector, Element's going to go quickest here. It's going to be 1:13.1. Element will go quickest. Coming out of Peraltada, rides the sausage curb slightly. That won't affect him at all. Element to the line, 13.1. Brilliant lap time, 3 tenths up, and Element goes top. But it's not over and done with yet. Cohen Robb is on a lap, Vettel is on a lap, and Matt Tibos is invalid coming through the end of the middle sector. But FPL Vettel now on a lap, the German in the hat, another one that backed off the throttle coming through the S section. He has got his teammate just in front of him. Gives him very limited EOS, I've got to say, and very limited tow, I should say. FPL Vettel 55.1 in the middle sector. Not going to be the quickest of the night, this I don't think. It's a 27 flat in the middle sector, into the final sector, into the final couple of corners. Wouldn't be surprised if he comes in the pit lane actually here, but he continues on, comes across the line, and he goes 12th ahead of Cam, who I think invalidated on his lap if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Cam just overstepped the boundaries in the final sector, so he was unable to get a lap in. Matt Tibos as well. An absolute shocking qualifying session from the Williams so far as he spins it on traction, and he's around facing the wrong way at turn 5. Yeah,
through the turn 4, turn 5 complex. Matt Tibos hasn't got any damage, I don't think. It's a slight hit with the wall. Now, I've heard from the F1 2021 beta, it's been well reported in some of the discords that I'm in, that there is a different damage model in the new game. And if you ride the curb, for example, you may pick up suspension damage and floor damage, as well as wing pod and side pod damage as well. So with that in mind, what are we going to see the transition period from this game into the new game in terms of the damage model? Because if on the new game that happens, I think Matt Tibbles probably would have lost his front wing there.
Yeah, I mean, if that is the damage model for the new game, I think we're going to see a lot of differences between how drivers are actually going to drive. Because we see now, especially when it comes to like the top guys, they will go over the curves and use as much of the track as humanly possible. If they do that with this new model, it could be damage from.
It probably will be damage for the Matt Tibos has had enough. He retires coming into the pit lane. Cam is on a lap, but he's invalid through turn 8. Cam invalid again through turn 8. I'm really interested to see what this lap time actually would have been. He's flying on this lap, possibly to try and get round. He's not got enough time for another lap. Put it that way. And he spins the car, and he's nearly at the session. He's got front wing damage, and that is Cam now definitely out of qualifying.
Yeah, Cam just he could not get another lap in. Every time I went on board with him, he either was just about to invalidate or he has invalidated. As Jack now, he's marginally up on his time as he comes into the final sector. I believe the Williams of Wesker would be the other Williams. Just gearing up to get himself underway, but Jack now to the line. What is this going to be for the man in the Renault? It's an improvement of time, but no position.
Yeah, about 700's improved, I think, from Jack. Jack is 113.7, nearly a tenth up, in fact. It was special. That was 700's up coming through the end of the first sector. He's got a Ferrari on an lap behind him, but Special is going to be the first man to come out on track. F1 AMG, by the way, has served his qualifying ban. He can't get out now for a lap, pretty much. He can get out, actually, for a setup, if you want to apply a setup, But 3/10 up from Special in the middle sector, 13.8 theoretical at this moment in time. TDB, by the way, has made a very interesting comment. His theoretical best is a 112.8. Well, put your money where the mouth is. That's all I'm going to say. Special through the final corner to the line, improves up to 14 to 113.9. TDB is on the run down and towards turn 1 as well. Who's furthest on a lap, Mike?
Wesker.
Wesker, let's get to him. He's down in 16th, and he's invalidated, yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be one of the Red Bulls next, either Magnus or Element, and it is Element.
Element, and I'm not sure what he's doing through the first sector. Coming through in toward the end of the middle sector, though. Flies at the S section, and that's where CR7 lost his time. If CR7's more committed through there, he's 2,000s down, actually, Element, on his own personal best in the middle sector. CR7's a 10th up. Yeah, CR7 is a 10th up, but is that going to be enough? Element, I think, can find probably a little bit of time in this final sector. Let's see what the Dane can do out through the final corner. Could be a 112.9, maybe, Element? Across the line. 113 flat goes quickest. Mad Jonas across the line. CR7's invalid. Doesn't improve. Isotopic's invalid. Magnus is invalid. Jonas is not. Noisy's not, and he's 500 tops. Let's run on board with Noisy then. Coming in toward the final couple of corners as well. TDB is on a really good lap here, actually. TDB now through the final corner, towards the line. Put your money where your mouth is. The money is wrong. And the mouth is right, because he didn't improve in the end. Swayed toward the line as well. Noisy goes fourth. Tiona's coming toward the line. Can he improve? No. And that is pretty much the end of qualifying. It is the end of qualifying. And LMN out on top. Mad Yona second, CR7 third. Nobody improved, apart from Noisy.
CR7. So he was up by over a 10th in the middle sector split, and he hooked up the was it the hairpin in the stadium? He hooked it up this time around, so there was definitely going to be an improvement there for CR7, but he just exceeded the track limits, and TDB backed off at the end. I was on board with him. He literally backed off so he could start 11th.
And he is starting 11th indeed, but it's Ellerman out on top. Mad Jonas in second, CR7 in third. Very close qualifying. Noisy in fourth, who's left the session, in fact, so hopefully Noisy can get back in. Isotopic in fifth, Sway in sixth, Magnus in seventh, much improved qualifying from him. Jonas in eighth, Jorg in ninth, Colin Rob in 10th, good job from the Welshman. TDB down in 11th, the championship leader. Jack in 12th, Vessel 13th, Special 14th, Cam 15th, Wesker 16th, less than a second covering all of those at set times. Matt Tibos didn't set a time, now the Cowboy, they both crashed out. Matt Tibos obviously invalidated many times and retired in the pit lane. And F1 AMG, of course, had a qualifying ban, and that's now been served up.
Yep, and he's starting ahead of Cowboy.
He is starting ahead of Cowboy, which defies the laws of gravity, I think, is what we can probably say, and defies the laws of the game for sure. It is, once again, blue skies, sunshine, beautiful conditions here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, and of course we are above sea level. It's something like 800 metres, I think, above sea level, which is absolutely unbelievable, considering that we are, of course, in Mexico. It's one of the highest points, in fact, in Mexico City, on the outskirts of which we are here tonight. But with 15 seconds to go, Noisy has literally just joined us back in the lobby. Hopefully he'll be able to take control of his car after the race start. But in terms of what we can expect out on track, I would say, if there's a safety car, 2-stop.
I think it's very borderline, the 2-stop versus the 1-stop. The hards, while they are a durable tyre, consistent tyre, they are by far the slowest tyre. I mean, we've seen a soft hard strategy work, but the soft medium is nip and tuck. It's nip and tuck. 2-stop, 1-stop.
Yeah, it is nip and tuck, and that's defined, I think, with Special down in 14th position. He's on a set of softs. Everyone down in the bottom half of the field are on a set of medium compounded tyres, including TDB, the championship leader. Special is the one, he's the exception rather than the rule, to be honest, out on track. And you would imagine, for the first 5 or 6 laps of the race, be the quickest man out on track on a fresh set of softs.
Yeah, you would imagine that he would, ideally he'd want to be getting past Vettel off and Jack off the line, use the slipstream and try and get ahead of TDB into turn 1. Of course, a very long a long wait until we get to turn 1, and we could potentially see 4 wide going into turn 1, which would be an absolute spectacle to see, especially with the slipstream, everyone getting a chance to get involved, jockeying for positions. LMN starting on pole, but pole not the best place to be at this track.
Definitely not the best to join out on track, and definitely not the best place to be in, I should say, out on track, because, of course, you are starting on the dirty side of the grid if you're on the left-hand side. If you're on the right-hand side, you actually start on fresher grip, really, out on track, and that is what is going to be the key. Will Mad Jonas get the good start? I think CR7 will probably get the best start out of everyone in the front 3. It remains to be seen, of course. 19 people here for Division 2, better, of course, than Division 1, and we will confirm about Division 1 TTML-wise at the end of this stream, just for anyone that might have heard a little bit of rumours in the Discord. Quickly, Mike, before we go, who's your top 3?
I'm going to go CR7, Noisy, and I'm going to go Tiones, back-to-back podiums at Mexico in Division 2.
CR7, LMN, Tiones is my top 3, I think, to be honest, and hopefully that might be another prediction that actually goes right tonight. I've already got 3, but oh, I'm getting a bit of sense of deja vu here, I feel. There's cars still joining on the back. We are waiting for somebody to ready up. It might be Noisy, who joined the session. I wonder if he's taken control of his car on the formation lap and it's glitched out, is what I'm thinking. And there's nothing yet, but for me it is totally just gone. It's as if we've frozen in thin air, to be honest.
I'm not gonna lie, I mean, I was hearing you talk then, and all of a sudden your voice cut out, and I hope I mean, I'm still in the lobby and it's all fine and everything now, but I'm hoping that this doesn't mean that the lobby has just gone haywire.
Yep, Sway has told Noisy to leave and then join back. It might be the case where he's got another blue screen, but hopefully it does begin... It does fix itself, and hopefully we'll be able to get going very shortly indeed. Hangfire, go and get some... Well, I would say go and get a cup of tea, but I don't think you've probably got time to make a cup of tea in this case, unless you've already got one made for you by, I don't know, another half, for example. Sway is not loading either, so I wonder if this is maybe a switch between the crossplay, because Sway's on PS5, I know, everyone's on PS4, and we've got a blue screen, and there we go. My game's crashed.